With all of the lies floating around these days, we really need to put more focus on God and His Word. So I'm going to cover the infamous John 8, where Jesus writes on the ground with his finger. The Holy Spirit is going to take the wheel. Okay, so here is something I did not really see before. So Jesus appears in the temple courts, and at first he was teaching, and then the teachers of the law and the Pharisees drug in the adulterous woman. So he shifted from teacher to judge. On earth as it is in heaven. The teachers of the law and the Pharisees had brought the accusations against her, but she had also been caught in the act. And she pled the fifth. She did not incriminate herself. She did not tell on herself. But also it was seen as like a confession in the fact that she did not deny getting called. She didn't try to lie her way out of it. So the Pharisees says, well, Moses says that we should stone such a woman. What do you say? And as they kept pleading their case, he just simply bends over and starts writing on the ground with his finger, almost as if he ignored them. So when they showed no signs that they were going to shut up anytime soon, he stands up and says, "He who is without sin shall cast the first stone." And he bent over again and starts writing on the ground with his finger again. They didn't start walking away until after he had bent over to write on the ground the second time. Why? Now the answer to this lies in what he wrote. Jesus had told the disciples, "Don't be overjoyed because the demons submit to you. Be overjoyed that your name is written in the Lamb's Book of Life." Before you accept Christ, you are still accounted for. So your name is in another book. Along with it is listed all the things you've ever done. It's like the book of remembrance. When you come to Christ, your name is marked through. Then it's rewritten in the Lamb's Book of Life. You then follow under his obedience and righteousness. So with him symbolically writing her name in the Lamb's Book of Life, it began to rebuke the accusers until they were all gone and he stood up. Jesus was the atoning sacrifice for our sin and our rebellion. Even though her name was written in the Lamb's Book of Life, he still instructed her to leave her life of sin. This account is connected to the book of Revelation, Revelation 2:17. "I will also give that person a white stone with a new name written on it, known only to the one that receives it." This is why in that account, it was never told what he wrote. It wasn't that it wasn't important. It was because they couldn't read it. Good and evil coexist. So where good is present, there is always an opposing force. It's like in the book of Job. At first glance, Satan is making a bet with God. And that assessment is totally way off in left field somewhere. In fact, so much so, that's not even Satan in the book of Job. It's actually an accusing spirit, sort of acting on Satan's behalf. It's like when Jesus called Peter Satan in the Gospels. "Get behind me, Satan." That is not like some sort of sick burn. There was an opposing force that was trying to go against the Lord. And that's what Jesus was getting at. Peter was being influenced by that opposing force, by that accusing spirit. And you could really see it in the teachers of the law and the Pharisees and a lot of the Jewish people. They were all totally blindfolded by that opposing spirit. Is, what Jesus was referring to when he said, darkness reigns right now. It was the blind leading the blind. See, in the case of the adulterous woman, when Jesus got done writing her name the second time in the sand for the Lamb's Book of Life, they could no longer argue that case against her. He set her free from sin and death. Hello, Jesus, you guys.